Bonus Bucks is back starting next week on KFAN. Beginning next Monday, we have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com.
Couple 13-14 pass on comedy. It's going to be Mark Rosen here as well. This is from our Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. It says, Tennessee should also realize the Bears were without their top 2 receivers in the last Packer game, but Rome Odunze and Luther Burden are both expected to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd know since his dog shares the same name as Rome Odunze.
I did know Rome Odunze was coming back. I just did not mention it because I was supporting the Green Bay Packers.
All right. Well, he was just making one, I mean, because it's, I guess I would just say touche. The Packers are missing some key players. Well, the Bears were also missing key players. So, be interesting.
You could argue it's their top 2 receivers, but you could also argue they're the same. Colson Loveland's their top receiver as a tight end. DJ Moore is the same as them. So,
all right.
I think that Malik Willis played okay. I still think there's a big difference between Jordan Love and Malik Willis.
I would agree with that, although Malik will be able to cash in this offseason and what should be a rather lucrative free agent contract. But, yeah, I think the fact that Jordan Love's coming back gives Green Bay a much better chance of winning. I agree with that. Something's got to give.
Brian Flores to the Baltimore Ravens, your thoughts?
Well, it's good that he's getting an interview. That's an important first step. I'd like to think that, it'll be a great fit. The Ravens have a ready-made defense. They've always been known to have a really kind of a defense-first operation there, and I hope it's not just an obligatory interview. There's all sorts of things happening. Obviously, the Rooney Rule's in effect, but at the same time, Brian's ongoing lawsuit against the NFL, I don't know how much that's going to affect it, but I'm glad he's got an interview. Good for him. I hope it goes well. But there's a lot of openings right now, and this is the first time we've heard of him getting a head coaching interview. That's the only way I see him leaving here, is that if it's the Ravens or someone else. There's 7-8 openings now. It's musical chairs of NFL coaches, and we haven't even started the playoffs yet. So, with the Harbaugh situation, which kind of stunned everybody, a couple days ago.
Do you, how much of a setback would it be if, in your mind's eyes, if Flores was to get a head coaching job and leave as a D coordinator of the Vikings?
I don't know. I think, his resume speaks for itself. The Vikings did have had a lot of issues at times during the season, even with Brian Flores there. Is that personnel? Is that, this play calling? I don't, it's probably a combination. I hope if he does go that they would promote internally Durante Jones as their defensive backfield coach, who I think would be very capable of stepping in to be the defensive coordinator. But, they may decide to go with, the Jonathan Gannons of the world or someone like that. But I don't know how to answer that. I think, Brian was locked in at the end of the year, no doubt about that. And he's got the respect of his team and what he's able to do. And I think he throws a lot of curveballs at teams that they're not used to. But the Vikings haven't always been, a top 10 defense either. So I don't know how to answer that. I think Flores' reputation is strong, and I think he'd be a great candidate for the Ravens. But I hope he gets a fair shake.
Yeah, I would think he would. Kind of, and I were talking about it earlier when you've had that lawsuit going on. If you're an organization, let's say you want to hire Harbaugh. You just do, but that's still, you can't just go out and hire him. You do have to go through the Rooney Rule. Is that correct? You have to, or can you just say, we're hiring Jim Harbaugh and that's the way it is, or John Harbaugh?
I think you can get around it. I don't know. I don't recall that every team has to interview a black coach of some, to fulfill that. I think in theory it sounds good, but I don't think it always works out that way. And I'm not even quite sure they enforce it anymore. I really don't. I'm not quite sure that works that way. I mean, going back to even when Tony Dungy got hired, and he was here at the Vikings. He got hired by Tampa Bay, and he was going through a yearly circus where he was being, the teams would interview him, and then he'd inevitably come back and, kind of went through the circus of it all, and it just was almost embarrassing. And then, Tampa Bay decided to take a run at him. I'll never forget that Sunday night he was doing our show, and coming in to analyze other games, and he said, well, I got an interview in Tampa tomorrow. Next thing you know, he got the job, and the rest is history. And then John Gruden took over his team and won a Super Bowl. So he got his in Indy.
NCAA football, do we have just 2 games left before the championship? Are we at the semifinals?
That's right. Tonight.
Ole Miss against Oregon.
No,
it's Oregon and Indiana.
Right.
And then Ole Miss is against Miami?
Yes, Miami's defense, yes. Miami and their defense. That's tonight. Miami and Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl.
Who do you like in that one?
Man, Miami's defense has been so impressive. Again, we've been talking about even with the NFL defensive teams, and I'd give them the edge. I know Miami's a 3-point favorite in that one, but I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen much of Ole Miss. I just haven't. It seems like every time I want to watch the playoffs, they're not on. But Miami's been really impressive, so I'd go with Miami in that game tonight. Not by a lot, but yeah, their defense is lights out.
I guess it's me in storylines. I think a lot of people are the same way. And the Ole Miss with Kiffin leading,
right.
And that team, they in that victory they had, they beat who the hell they beat? I watched the whole game. Who did they just beat? Ole Miss beat
not Georgia.
Yeah, I think it was Georgia, wasn't it? Yeah, I think they beat Georgia, and that's exactly who they beat.
Okay,
is that who they beat last time? Tenree's looking it up.
There's so many games.
Well, I mean, I wasn't like glued to the
right.
TV.
Yeah, they've beaten Tulane and Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, and that game that was hanging in the balance almost the entire time.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So, and I like the rallying around. Your coach leaves, the Lane Kiffin team around each other. The quarterback is really
good. That's a good story. Oh yeah.
And so I think I'm pulling for Ole Miss, and I do think they're going to win tonight too.
Then you got tomorrow night. You got of course Big Ten teams. Oregon rematch against the favorite Indiana Hoosiers, which is still hard to imagine, but they are 14-0 and they're 3.5-point favorites. And it's tough to you play a team again, relatively close game first time around, and I think it'd be certainly a lot tougher than what they did against Alabama when they destroyed the Crimson Tide. But I think most of the neutral fans in the country are rooting for the Hoosiers to continue the Cinderella story all the way to the national championship.
Are you pulling for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I like everything about what they've done with the program, and the head coach I get a kick out of him. He's got that glum kind of straight face that he keeps all the time, never cracks a smile, and then he's got the king of the one-liners, and yeah, I think he's got him going, and I think he's a hell of a football coach. So yeah, we've never been down this road before with the Indiana Hoosiers. So why stop now? Go for it. Go get it.
Sorry, I've got all kinds of medications.
I know, cough drops. You can look at this. You're like a drugstore over there.
Sudafed, got a little of this, little of that.
I hope that's Dayquil.
It's NyQuil.
Well, you take it during the day?
Well, sure.
What's that, knock you out?
No.
You're supposed to take NyQuil during the day.
No.
That's what Dayquil's for.
What are you talking? Wait, what are you? Oh, my.
Let me ask you a question.
I wouldn't be able to drive home if I had that right now.
You didn't live a
life like yours.
You didn't have Haight-Ashbury days. This knocked me out. Are you kidding me?
That's like having alcohol again. You're off the wagon.
I've consumed a whole galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers.
I'm aware
of
that.
There's nothing more depraved than a man in the depths of an ether binge. Yeah. NyQuil will not put you out.
Well, it makes you a little loopy. Mm-mm. Oh, wow.
It makes me loopy, and then the next day I have a NyQuil hangover. Do you ever feel like your head's a little cloudy the day after having NyQuil? Yeah.
I don't take it all that often, but I can't believe you just did that. Wow.
After I got a cough.
Well, I know, but that's why they have something called Dayquil.
You don't believe those labels, do you?
Probably not. I usually just drink a lot of hot tea and
they used to say never take more like 2 aspirin.
Right.
Back in the Haight-Ashbury days, I'd go to bed and take about 6 or 8.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I'm not suggesting anybody do that. I'm just saying.
Not for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a believer in the Dayquil night.
Good luck keeping the voice. It's always tough.
I did see this story, too. I don't know if we talked about this. I know I briefly mentioned it with Tennessee. Lane Kiffin makes all kinds of money every time that Ole Miss continues to win.
Nice gig.
Here's what the story says. Kiffin received $500,000 once Ole Miss clinched a spot in the semifinals and will take home $1 million if his previous team can capture a national title.
Oh, my God.
So, not as if he didn't have enough money as it is,
Right.
with all the contracts and all the money he's made, and you can say it's well-deserved. That's what the going rate is for college football coaches. But, I mean, think about that. He resigns from the job. They say, don't let the door hit you on the way back.
Right.
He says, I'll coach if you want me to. We don't want you here. And yet he's not affiliated with the school now in any way, shape, or form, other than he's their former coach, and he's still, because of the contracts that he signed, and that's what you got to sign to get the big guys. You basically have to do whatever they want you to do. One of those was bonuses for national championships and bowl game appearances and all that. He's going to make
$500,000.
Yeah, well,
$1 million.
Well, he's already made $500,000.
Right.
And if they get to the title game and make another, or if they win it, they'll win another. He'll get another 1.5.
And this is why NIL exists now, the transfer portal for players, because for decades it would be the coaches that just pick up and leave, and they'd recruit these kids. They would have no say in anything, and they'd be on their way with the cash in hand. Now it's a little different story.
Someone just said the Sudafed you're taking balances out the NyQuil. Do your thing. Here's one that says he's immune. Dayquil is for suckers.
No, I don't take it. I don't agree. I don't know.
You don't take anything for your colds?
No. I'm saying I do like NyQuil when I go to sleep when I do get a cold.
Yeah.
I've been on a vitamin D kick. I take 3 a day. Been on it for a couple months. Really trying to ward off colds.
I'm feeling kind of sleepy right now.
Yeah. We'll take over.
I think maybe I'm going to take a little nap.
Doze off during a break.
We'll be back after this here on Common Man Program on the Fan.
Showdown with Cleveland is on tap tonight as the Wolves battle the Cavaliers. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Catch every shot, every dunk, and every jaw-dropping play all season on the Timberwolves iHeartRadio channel.
Sends me a text at the Bercich and Brian KFAN text line that says, it's only appropriate that NyQuil will put you to sleep. You've been putting your audience to sleep for over 20 years. I would say I've been here for 30 years, since 1993. How many years is that? 93 to
36.
36. I've been on the air for 36 years.
No, 33 years. I'm sorry. Did I just say 36?
Yeah,
Terrible math.
So 33. So to match Rosen at 50 years, I got another 17. I don't think I'm going to match 16.
Not going to make it.
77. What's 77 plus 7? 84? No, I don't think I'll make that. I don't think so.
No.
Matter of fact, I'm about to make an announcement.
Oh, no.
I'm going to retire in 3 years. Now, Tennessee, start talking about my retirement. You saw the video, right, with PA and Bercich? That's so good.
I did not.
I'm
sorry.
Oh, haven't you seen it?
No.
Have you heard about it? Oh, it's
No.
so good. And I think it's overblown. It was posted by somebody. So PA's announcing that there's a camera on the booth. You can see it. Look it up. So PA's going, they're stopping the game for Harrison.
Harrison Smith thing. Yeah.
And then PA does this big long, for Harrison Smith on his 14 years in the National Football League. And then you're hearing the crowd.
Right.
Well, then Bercich steps on the crowd because PA wanted it to breathe.
Yeah.
And you can see the reaction to PA. He goes like this, like he's annoyed. Now, the way it was explained to me is that he was more annoyed at himself because he wanted to tell Bercich, let's just let the crowd.
Sure.
But Bercich, as an analyst, hears PA stop talking, so he wants to weigh in on what he thinks about Bercich's career. Look for the video; it's really good.
Well, I haven't seen it, but all you have to do in a situation like that, especially in your booth like that, you see the configuration up there. PA just has to reach over and grab Bercich, just give him a nod and go. But
Bercich already started talking, so then you would be cutting Bercich would go, over this.
He got it right away.
So he got it right away.
Funny.
Are you looking at the video?
I don't know where I'd go find that.
Okay.
So.
I don't know where it was. It was sent to me by somebody.
Well, they have a camera in the booth. We've seen many calls.
No, but what I'm saying is somebody sent it.
He
doesn't know where to find it right now. I don't know. Somebody sent it to me. Right. Somebody. The bit was they said, Common, you should announce your retirement, then have Tennessee step over your retirement call. And I emailed him back and said, I missed something. I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, I thought you knew, and then he sent me the video.
Well, forward me the video.
I'd have to go into my email and I can do it. But
way too long.
Well, no, it wouldn't take too long. I can check email on my phone. It's not that hard to do. Couldn't do it for the longest time. Point guard trade. We've been looking for a point guard forever. Why didn't we trade for Trae Young?
Well, I think it's probably because of the amount of money it was going to take to get him. Are
we trying to win a ship, or are we trying to win a ship?
I still think they're. I mean, Rob Dillingham is definitely the guy that they're trying to trade right now.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a lot for
That's
him.
an admission that you drafted the wrong guy.
But I still have said, as a all defensive player, Rudy Gobert's having maybe the best year of his career right now, and he's been defensive player of the year a number of times. But I still think they need some backup help in the middle of that front court. I suspect Tim Connolly's still going to try to make some sort of move or two before the deadline. Obviously, they've been playing a lot better of late. They got a really interesting game tonight at home against Cleveland, back home. But I think they're going to have to make some sort of a move to try to maybe help that front court a little bit. Trae Young was, I think, plus he wanted. He wanted to go to Washington. I don't know who wants to go to Washington.
Do we not want a point guard then now anymore?
No,
Are we
I'm not
happy
saying
with
that.
Mike Conley, with the veteran, and then?
No, I mean, Ant's kind of the point guard by default, and Dante plays it some, and I think it's a combination. And then Conley's been able to come off the bench and give them a boost, but you never have enough. I mean, they can play at that high level. I just don't. I don't think Chris Finch, obviously doesn't trust Dillingham even at this early part of his career to give him significant playing time, and that's sort of where they are with the point guard position. But I think that the middle is, Nas is not a great defensive player, and he goes in there obviously, one of the best sixth men in basketball offensively, and he plays high level, and McDaniel can play, but they don't really have that backup guy that can go in and make a difference. Not that you're going to be a Rudy Gobert in terms of blocking shots and rebounding, but I still think they need some help in that area. But, that's how they're going to have to roll now.
I think the problem with the Trae Young thing, too, is he doesn't play defense. He's another one of those point guards he's just all offense. Yeah. And if you look at his numbers, I mean, he does score a lot, but he can dish the ball a little bit. But his shooting percentages aren't good, particularly from 3-point range. He's just not 3-point shooter. So it's like, if that's what your point guard, if you got to play, and it's just that, I mean, Doncic has been criticized for not playing defense. There are some guys in this league. Harden has never been a defensive player. These guys, all they do is they can score points, and you got to have that. But they just have no interest at all in playing defense, and it's like, gosh, you would think by now these players. But I guess if you're so good offensively, teams will overlook it. They'll just go, well, the guy, he's a scoring machine. I mean, even Steph plays defense. Steph is a good defensive player. I don't know if he's one of the better ones in the league, but he plays a bit.
Yeah, I think for a while, a couple of years ago, I thought Trae Young and John Morant were going to be like the guards of the future for the next 10 years. And Morant was on a really high arc for his career, and then he had all sorts of troubles off the court as well. And you don't really hear much about John Morant. Then he gets injured, so you don't hear much about him anymore, where I thought, man, that guy would be dynamite to have in the backcourt with Ant. But that's not going to happen.
Deuce must be listening instead of working. He texted me, KFAN Insta, it's pinned.
I found it. The reason I found it is because SI.com did a story about it.
Yes, that's what the guy sent me. SI.com did a story.
Now.
So did you look at it?
Yeah. And I think he was annoyed that Bercich started talking.
Yeah, I think he is. But somebody within the Vikings radio audio broadcast network, whatever, says, it's overblown. He was more annoyed with himself that he didn't let Bercich know that he wanted to let it breathe. I don't know what is true or not, but you can definitely say PA.
Sounds like there's a schism in the Vikings audio network radio booth.
I think there is. It is a good thing the season ended. But it's funny. I got a kick out of it.
That's pretty good.
And of course, what do you think I'm going to believe? I'm going to believe there was bitterness. I'm going to
much better story.
That. It's a much better story. So I'm going to perpetrate that.
Of course,
that's what we do here. We're like National Enquirer.
No.
For the
But
National
that's what
Enquirer.
Pete does. He steps over calls.
That's exactly what he does.
What are you expecting out of him?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's take our final break of the Grum. Legendary One is here, along with Common and 10B. One more segment to go before we turn it over to Big Ticket and JG next on The Fan.
You're listening to The Fan.
Never miss your chance to know what the latest sports news is in town. Chance to win tickets and knowing what is going on with all your favorite KFAN shows. And whenever Bercich steps on a PA call, follow KFAN 1003 on all of our social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and X now. Stay connected and follow the sports leader, KFAN.
So it appears we have a schism inside the Vikings audio network booth. Let me ask you both a question. I think, you guys know Pete Bercich. You text and talk with him more than most people know. Do you think he would take a lateral move as another analyst guy, or do you think he would only go if he got the play-by-play job? Much like they talk about Beeflo. Does Beeflo leave for a lateral job? People think no. Would he leave for
I think he'd leave for Chicago.
You think he would?
Yeah.
He lives there.
But do you think he would go as the analyst, or do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
That's his strength. I don't think he has any interest in doing play-by-play.
Yeah. So.
But I think that would, Chicago would make the most sense since he lives there most of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got some ins there. Maybe you could, make a call for him.
Could help him out.
Yeah. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
It's usually the way life works.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. Is what it is.
And the way the world works, unfortunately.
So CBS Sports List Radio, they were doing, they were giving baseball teams, Tennessee and I talked about this earlier, they were giving them off-season grades, right?
Twins must have got an A.
Only one team got an A, and that was the White Sox.
Seriously?
They actually gave the Chicago White Sox an A. Here's what it said about...
nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, well, that's it. Here's what it said about the Chi Sox. It says, will the White Sox contend in 2026? No, almost certainly not. But I love the swings they've taken this offseason. Landing Munetaka Murakami on a 2-year, $34 million contract is a great move. High upside if it works, low downside if it doesn't. It's a short-term deal, and it's not like he's blocking a prospect at third or first base. Gambling on a 26-year-old with this much power is something every rebuilding team should try to do every offseason. I don't love the Anthony Kay or Sean Newcomb sign as much as the Murakami deal, but someone has to throw innings for this team, That seemingly embeddable Lewis Robert Jr. trade could swing this grade to an A+ if they nail the return, or a B if it underwhelms. So they like what they've done so far. Your Minnesota Twins, they got a big fat F.
No.
Here's what it says. The Twins weren't expected to do much this offseason.
And they haven't.
And they've done even less than that. Minor trades for a new reliever, Eric Orzi, if that's how you say his name, and a new backup catcher, Alex Jackson, and one major league free agent signing, Josh Bell. That's it. The Twins have neither meaningfully improved the 2026 team nor their long-term outlook. So, yeah, you get an F. I wouldn't rule out a Lopez or Joe Ryan trade between now and opening day, no matter what the front office or ownership says. And Tennessee and I discussed that. They all at one time they said the team was for sale, and then it wasn't. So really, it could get to the point where before the season starts, or sometime like fire sale time or trade deadline, we're getting rid of Lopez or Ryan.
Well, if they look at the debt, and they're looking at their bank account and what they're dealing with and paying off the debt from the Twins situation, they might, again, there are lots of members of the Pohlad family, and they have a say in pushback. And they could very easily say, we need to save Joe Ryan money because he's going to cost us. He doesn't cost us very much right now, but he's on the cusp of getting, a new big deal, and we don't want to be the ones to pay it. So I think we'd be better off, although I think they'd be better off keeping him for as long as they possibly can because they are in a team-friendly deal right now. But by mid-season, maybe that would change. Yeah, I don't trust anything they're thinking about doing.
When is the Gopher USC game? Is that basketball? Isn't that? Aren't they playing soon here at the barn?
Friday night. Oh yeah, men. I think yes, because they play. The women play here next Wednesday night against USC. Yeah, I believe.
The Musselman kid coaches USC.
Yes,
now,
Eric. Yeah.
Wasn't there a time? Because I know there were two guys that were very interested Wasn't Musselman, he would have killed to have that job? And then who's the other guy that's over at, who's the other Minnesota tie guy that I'm thinking that has a Minnesota tie that wanted to coach here? Why can't I think of his name?
Not, no, I was thinking through the Hoiberg connection, but no.
I'll think of it here. But do you think there was ever, do you think, and again, Medved's doing fine now and all that, but do you think there was a time they probably should have signed Eric Musselman? Because,
it'd been great.
Because you're looking for guys, sometimes I think schools are used as stepping stones, right? Minnesota's not considered a basketball. I don't know what sport they're considered.
Dutcher.
Dutcher, that was it.
Brian Dutcher.
It was Brian Dutcher.
Jim's son.
And he wanted to be here really bad, too. Do you think that was probably the way? I mean, again, I don't remember the exact situations at the time, who was available, who wasn't, why they went with the people that they did go with. But do you think those would have been good moves? They both seem to know how to coach,
Well,
right?
they have ties. I mean, obviously family ties. Brian, I kind of grew up with Brian here when he was doing the job that Kenna wants, the video editor, a video guy before video was really big, but he did all the video work for his dad's basketball team. I remember Brian as a young man and growing up here, and I knew Eric Musselman when he was a little kid,
right,
shooting hoops in his dad Bill Musselman's driveway. When I used to go over and do some stories with Bill when he was coaching the Timberwolves. Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been enough of a draw, but as their resumes kept getting bigger and better, and their whatever loyalty they may have had to come back to good old Gopher Town, I think were eclipsed by better deals, better contracts, better basketball teams that they could coach. So, I think, but sure, either one would have been, I think, from a marquee standpoint, would have been terrific to get to land, but it was never the right circumstances.
And the reason I bring that up is because when you have coaches or players, whatever, but specifically coaches that have ties to a university or a school or a team or whatever, sometimes that's enough to make them say, even if they get to the point where they, like Izzo's been at Michigan State forever, he wasn't going anywhere. Shikanjansky, Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, he wasn't going anywhere, right? Once you get to a certain place, and so while that's not Duke, I would still think if Dutcher would have got the job or even Musselman, they'd say, well, this is what I want to be. I'm going to stay here. This is the final job on my resume.
Yeah, I think there would have been a lot to be attracted by. The timing's everything. And again, with recruiting and having that, both those guys. I mean, both Jim had great success here with winning a Big Ten championship, 82, I believe, with Darryl Mitchell and Trent and Cookie Home. All those guys were just a great basketball team to watch. And obviously, Musselman had his opportunity here as the Gopher coach years ago, and he was here during those crazy days when they had the brawl with Ohio State, and they had Corky Taylor, Ron B. Hagan, Dave Winfield, Flip Saunders. I mean, they had quite a team.
Yeah.
Back then, they used to do the Sweet Georgia Brown warm-up. If the fans weren't around for that, weren't born, heard about it, go Google it, as they say. The place would be jumping like no other arena you'd ever been in your life.
It was like a sock hop is what it was.
It was crazy. But anyway, yes, I think,
you brought up the name Flip Saunders, the late Flip Saunders. His son, Ryan, is he like the Memphis Grizzlies lead assistant, some title like that?
Yeah, he was with Denver for a while, and then I think he might. I think
you
might be right.
That's what I thought. Do you think he'll ever get an opportunity as a head coach again, or do you think? I think
it's certainly possible. He has. I mean, I think he's got a lot of fans. I mean, among the coaching staffs in the NBA, and sometimes it's just timing. I mean, look at Mike Nori for the Timberwolves. I mean, when Chris Finch got kicked out of the game, Mike Nori takes over, and he's got the respect of everybody on the team, and he knows his basketball inside and out. He's paid his dues. He would make a great head coach, I think, somewhere. And he's got the personality, not just to relate to his players, but to the media. He's really media friendly, all that kind of stuff. And I think Ryan, he's still young. I mean, he could still have, those opportunities could come about, especially, when you got coaches flying, getting fired, all the time. It seems like every single year there's like a half a dozen jobs available. So I think he's, sticking his nose to the grindstone and doing what he has to do. And I mean, I thought maybe he would have had a shot at Denver after Malone was let go, but it didn't work out that way.
Chip wrote about Coy Bercich.
Oh, did he?
Yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was for this morning.
Yeah.
They talked about, he's gone. I mean, I don't think he's all of a sudden going to go. You know what? I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to stay. Then Randball writes, he says, but my lament here doesn't lie so much with Bercich. He's exploiting a system, is about to get paid, and he put in 2 years of the home state team, which is 2 more than his pedigree would have suggested. Players getting paid is good for them, even if the system is out of control and everything happens so fast. I can get used to that a lot more easily than the one thing I consider the most troubling of the portal era. And Scoggins summed it up by, imagine if professional athletes were eligible to become free agents after every season. That's essentially college sports today.
Right.
And Randball says that's what bothers him the most about it. And I tend to agree that it is an issue because it is, they always say it's like the wild, wild west out there when they're talking about, the changes that are happening in any walk of life, but particularly in sports. But it is, a guy can play. I mean, you're seeing players. I was reading about somebody who transferred, I think, to the Gophers. This will be his 4th team in 4 years. It's like, and I guess that's, I'm not really against it because I don't know what's fair, what's not fair, what should they allow, what they shouldn't, what the rules should be. But yeah, you can't depend on, Drake Lindsay, I'm sure, my guess is PJ had sleepless nights thinking, I wonder if he's going to say, I want out. Now, he says he likes it here. He thinks this is the best spot for him. He wants to play at the next level. He thinks playing here for the Gophers will give him the best opportunity. And I believe him at this point. I'm sure that's it. But you can change your mind. So let's say they go into next year, and let's say the team struggles and does this and does that. And, he's not so much struggling, but the team just is, and he just thinks, gosh, I've only got a year or 2 left. I'd rather go play somewhere else, and that's the chance you take, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do about it right now.
This is why head coaches, PJ, any other head coach is spending, their offseason begins, as soon as the bowl game was over, you have your current players in the office with their agents or whatever signing new contracts. It's professional. I mean, it's a professional organization now. That's what you're doing. You're signing your players to contracts for the next season. You're not signing 3-year contracts. You're signing 1-year contracts. And just look at the ebb and flow. You mentioned Coy Bercich, and, I think fans, Minnesota fans in particular, are rightfully, man, I can't believe he's betraying us. Well, no, look, it's the system. You can't knock the kid for taking advantage of the system. And if it wasn't selling anybody a bill of goods, he wanted to come here. He played here. He gave you 2 years. Now he's going to go someplace somewhere else. Yeah. Well, the Gophers just got about 3 or 4 other players from other teams that decided to come here, and I bet their coaches aren't real happy, or their fan bases aren't real happy.
And I bet those Gopher fans with these players coming in aren't going, why are they coming here? You should stay with the team you are. They're happy they're here. So yeah,
and it's just an impossible. I mean, it is I mentioned some of those teams. You just mentioned some of those coaches we were talking about, whether it be the Saunders or the Dutchers, and going back to the teams, college teams in particular, that you would watch, and you'd watch them play for 3 or 4 years, and you go through the struggles, you go through the good times, and maybe competing for a Big Ten championship, but you got to know the players, and they were part of the university, they're part of the community. And now it's just like they're hired guns, and that's just the way it is. And I don't know if there's any out at this point. They haven't figured it all out, but I mean, there's supposed to be a ceiling on the amount of money they can spend. But you watch the teams that are playing tonight and tomorrow night. What do you think the average salary is of those players that are playing for Indiana, Ole Miss, Oregon, with Nike out there? I mean, it's Mark Cuban helping write checks out to the Indiana Hoosiers. I mean, this is, there's millions and millions of dollars out there.
Well, because each school is like, what is their salary cap? Like $20.5 million. But that doesn't stop. That's just money that has nothing to do. Nil money can be as much as it wants, right? There, you can have a booster, somebody that's well heeled, and he can give as much money as he wants.
Yeah, you can have a car contract for something, some business, and you can give him $5 million if you want. It's not going away.
You're getting ripped.
For what?
Comment, can Rosie clarify? He said he remembers young Eric Musselman as a kid in the driveway shooting hoops when his dad was coaching the Timberwolves. Eric is 61. The Timberwolves' first season was 37 years ago. Eric would have been 24 in 1989.
Well, that must have been when he was coaching the Gophers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I like the way you covered up nice, though. There you go.
I just remember him being in the driveway.
Yeah.
And it probably was with the Gophers at that time. Yeah, because Eric's 61 right now. Wow, that's crazy. And Dutcher, Brian, has got to be older. And he was a young man when he was working for the U for his dad.
This one says, Rosen never took advantage of the system like Bercich, at least not yet. I mean, are you going to take advantage of the system and go somewhere else?
I've kind of done that already.
I guess you have.
Played those games and gone through that. And most of the time, it has nothing to do with me. It's other entities that have to get involved in that. Fox 9 came after me, and I signed a contract with them. So that
phone rang. You're going to answer it.
Oh, I can answer it. Yeah, but not on a daily basis. I'm done for the rest of the year till the football season starts again. I hope. I don't know. It's year by year.
We haven't talked any Wild yet today, Tennessee. We have one more.
Not much to talk about.
But we have one more. Because of the World Juniors, we've been on the road for quite some time, right? And now we have one last road game.
Last road game
against the Kraken.
Yeah.
And then are we back home then do we get a bunch of games at home, or do we still have to travel here, there, and everywhere?
I'd have to look at the schedule. Yeah. I don't have the pocket schedule like Rosen to just pull right out.
I have to look it up. I don't have it, but yeah, I think they're home for a little while. And it's just such separation. If you look at the standings, I mean, I don't think it's going to change, Tana. I mean, for the rest of the year. I mean, it certainly could, but in terms of the top three teams in their conference, with Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota, there's such a separation.
It's not Minnesota; it's called Quinnesota.
Quinnesota, that's right. I'm sorry.
No, like you could basically plug in Wild versus Dallas Stars in the first round of the playoffs now, which you never. Both teams are so far behind Colorado. And both teams are so far ahead of the fourth place team in the Central Division.
So it's 2 against 3, right?
It's just a matter of who's playing at home.
It's 2 against 3.
And do you feel that 2 against 3, regardless if the Wild in a 2 or 3, do you think those two teams are like it's a razor thin difference? Do you think one's got a slight advantage, a bigger advantage, or do you think they're just dead even? It's like coin flip.
Well,
as we speak,
the thing is the teams are going to change before we get to that playoff series because both teams are going to be trying to add because they're both cup contenders. They're both going to try to gain an advantage on the other. Mm-hmm. They're both going to try to add to be able to compete with Colorado.
Right.
So whatever I tell you now doesn't mean anything because by the time we get to early April, these teams are going to have some different players on them.
I don't know what your sources are saying, but literally every single hockey person I talk to says Bill Guerin is going to make one more move.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, right. It's like, it doesn't even, it's like, well, he might, like the Timberwolves situation.
Well, here's the deal. Right now, they have a lot of cap space for this season. But next year, Kaprizov's contract kicks in.
Oh, boy.
That's going to go from $9 million to $17 million.
You got to re-sign Quinn.
Well, you hope to re-sign Quinn Hughes. That's in your plans. He's going to be due a significant raise. So your window for, from a rental player standpoint is right. I think they're going to have, it's going to be like $12 million against, like you could get up to like a $12 million player. In terms of how the cap is prorated come trade deadline time. So yeah, they won't be done. They are going to make moves now.
When's the deadline?
They don't have as much draft capital as they once did with the Juracek trade and now the Quinn Hughes trade. And, so their cupboards are a little bare in terms of what prospects they can give up and what draft picks they can give up. But I do think he'll be very aggressive. I think they're going to get a top 6 forward or a center or both.
Wow.
I like your,
it could finally be really exciting here, hockey season, right? Because we had the one, was it 2003 when we went to the Western Conference?
They were supposed to be any good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, and by the way, the Wild are playing 3 at home.
Okay.
They got the Islanders, Devils, Winnipeg. So the Devils have the 2 other Hughes brothers on that team, and they are struggling right now, which if you're a Wild fan, you want to cheer against the New Jersey Devils because you don't want Quinn to go, hey, I want to reunite with my brothers in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You want the Hughes brothers to go, we want to reunite with Quinn in Minnesota.
Come over here.
Right.
So that game has a little extra special meaning to it.
And I think I've asked you this before. His brothers, one's pretty darn good. And the
Jack's really good.
And the other one's meh.
He's fine.
So
he hasn't been playing well this year.
Right. But so if you had to take him as a package.
Take Jack.
But if you had to take him as a package, you could do that, right? Because the other guy can skate. I mean, he can put one foot in forward or the other. Because if you're brothers and you're the Three Musketeers, you're all for one and one for all. You're not going to let little baby brother that's not as good. I don't know if he's the baby. But
well, the problem is baby brother and Quinn both play a similar position. Quinn would kind of shut him out from playing time a little bit. Jack's a forward.
Okay.
And I think they are a very competitive bunch, and I think they just want to win. So they are going to pick a place that they can win together.
Is Jack a good enough forward to be that guy that Guerin would go after? Not because of the brother thing, but just because
they ain't going to be able to get him now.
Okay.
No, you'd have to give up way too much.
Okay.
All right.
And I don't know if we have those assets.
All right, very good.
I think to me, like a Ryan O'Reilly for Nashville would be a good bottom six center who could maybe fill in your top six as well, but win faceoff draws, kill penalties, has won cups. The other name to look for if Pittsburgh drops off would be Sidney Crosby.
I keep hearing that, but it seems like it would be impossible that he would.
And I wanted Tage Thompson, but Buffalo's been coming on a little bit lately.
It seems.
Could you ask Tenneby about David Jirasek missing out on the Czech Olympic team, but David Spacek also on the Iowa Wild making it, how large of a worry that is? Would that be a worry? You'd have to explain it to me.
Well, I mean, they're both from the Czech.
Okay.
Both play for the Iowa Wild, but David is a former top 5 overall pick that you gave up. What they gave up for him? First round pick, second round pick, third round pick for him.
All right.
So they gave up a lot for him, whereas they just drafted Spacek. I have lots of concerns about Jiricek. I know they're trying to act like over there that they don't, and maybe they're just saying that as a smokescreen to try to. Maybe Jiricek's one of those prospects they want to get rid of to bring something here and try to salvage something for him. But there should be lots of concerns about Jiricek given the Jiricek we have, given his time here in Minnesota, and they're kind of loaded on D now.
Sort of, would this be a fair comparison, sort of kind of even in a sideways way? We want the Wolves now wanting to part ways with Dillingham. It's the 8th round pick. We moved up, and it's just not working out. Now we're saying he's
or the Vikings wanting to part ways with Dallas Turner.
Right.
It'd be kind of that.
Yeah. Even though Turner played really well those last few games, I call him DT.
He's going to be a force.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, I think he's committed. After kind of a shaky rookie year, I think he
you like this kid, don't you?
I did from the get-go.
You did?
Yeah. They had to give up a lot of capital.
Did he play for Boston College?
No.
That's the year. I know you got the Boston College television network.
I kind of do, but no, he did not. A lot of changes coming up.
A lot of change. The times they are changing.
Yeah, that's the way
John
it goes.
Cougar Mellencamp. So.
Yes.
Remember when Mellencamp decided to go all electric and they got really mad at him?
Like Dylan?
Yeah. Oh, was that Dylan? No.
Dylan did. They highlighted that in the movie.
Oh, they did. I thought that was John Cougar Mellon. I get my rock stars
You might be
confused.
right. No, that's your specialty.
I get my rock stars confused.
Oh my gosh, it's time.
It is. Boy, we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
how
been
time
a lot
flies.
of fun.
For you, time was flying. For me, it's just grinding.
You got that NyQuil kicking in yet?
NyQuil's kicking in. I got to go home. I got to go watch a basketball game. Then I don't know if I'll make it. I need a nap. I'm starting to get really, really tired.
I wonder why.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Enjoy the football this weekend.
We'll see you at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Tenneby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. Tenneby's out tomorrow. Brett Blakemore is in. We have Gessling and Alec Lewis playing program pass runner.
Yes.
Is that correct? Along with Little B and I and Brett Blakemore here. So we'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket, JG, they're next here on The Fan.
Oh, boy.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.